And now with the sixth pick in the draft, we welcome on Kyle Butson. You guys might remember him from last year coming on and talking about the Detroit Lions. And funnily enough, David has basically adopted this as his second team too. So this is a very pro-Lions podcast, Kyle. Really excited to see what you're doing with this pick here.
I'll be completely honest. I'm not totally convinced that the Lions will be sitting at 6, given the way the cards are falling. I really kind of see that they might go up or they might go down, depending on how those first couple picks go. But as the draft stands, I see with the 6th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Lucas Van Ness, defensive lineman, Iowa.
Hercules off the board. Might be earlier than what people think, but this is a guy that has a lot of that J.J. Watt kind of feel to him, where he might be a little raw at this point, but he's so freakishly strong and athletic. It feels like wherever he goes, he's got a very high floor. For your Lions, though, we saw last year, offense might not have been the problem. Defense, on the other hand, was rough to say the least. Is this defense no matter what for you at 6 if they stay there?
I think regardless, it's got to be defense. I know there's a lot of guys that are chirping for a quarterback if it's available. I don't like the fit. I like what we have in our quarterback room right now. We're taking care of the ball. We haven't signed a contract extension. I know it might be a problem next year, but I'm not looking to solve that problem in the first round this year. That's for sure. Now with what he offers, you're right. He might be a little raw. He played inside a little bit at Iowa. I think he's going to be playing outside with the Lions. I think the best thing, too, is a culture fit. That is a stout Iowa defense. Big Ten, gritty football. That's a guy that Dan Campbell wants in his room.
So let me ask you 2 questions following that up, because I love your position on the quarterback room, but I want to throw 2 situations at you. Let's say that all 4 quarterbacks go off the board. There are some trades that happen 1 through 4, and the Lions are still at 6. Do you still take Lucas at 6, or do you take one of Tyree Wilson or Will Anderson Jr. if they're there?
I would love to have Will Anderson Jr. on the team. I'll just say it. And, the kid from Georgia, I think people are saying if he makes it to us, we should get him. Sure, is he maybe the most talented player in the draft? I think Dan Campbell's trying to build a culture, and I'm not necessarily sold that he's going to fit that culture, regardless of the idea that you take the most talented player available, especially in the first round of the draft. So that's kind of where I stand on that one.
That's fair. And Wally, I'm sorry, but I got to ask one more, and I'm done. I promise.
Go for it.
So, is there a quarterback in this draft that you'd want if the cards fell in place, or are you still not really feeling out any of the quarterbacks in this draft?
Here's where I'll say Hendon Hooker late. Give me the Tennessee kid in a later round. If he slips to us and he's looking good, I'm not sold on Will Levis. I'm not sold on Richardson. Of course I want to say give me CJ, but I try to separate my, I don't want to be a homer. And I'm not really sold on Bryce either as an NFL talent. I know people are really high on him right now, but I don't really see that necessarily translating. And I think the big thing too is he might, whoever we draft might be sent for a year or two, and that's why I think Hooker might be a good snag. Let him get healthy, let him learn the offense, let him develop the pace of the NFL game. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, this isn't going to be goodbye for Kyle. He will be back because his Lions have 2 first-round picks. But we're going to go back to studio now because you know who it's time for? The Las Vegas Raiders. So I will be making that pick in a second. Kyle, thanks for coming on. We'll be talking to you here in a little bit.
Thanks, fellas.